Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on the quick on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? Get my microphone going. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday Night Football, where the Bucks are getting their brains kicked in by the Lions. Baker Mayfield just thought he had a touchdown. He had a guy wide open. Good play by number 38 for Detroit. And Detroit's probably going to win this game. 4.5 minutes left to go, 3rd and 8. 24-9, the Lions. What's good with you, Dave Money? What up, Coach? Living in Cincinnati from Philly. Oh, that's what's up. Where you living in Cincinnati, dude? Where you at? Where you at in Cincy? You downtown in the new district, down in and around the stadium and all of that type of stuff. You in the new developments. You down. You in the burbs, and you in Springdale. You in Evendale. You in Woodlawn. You in Sharonville. You in Blue Ash. Where you at? Where you at? That's home, bro. That's home for me. Born and raised, brother. Born and raised. What it do, Chris? What up, Carlos? First out the limo. Dave Money, you first out the limo, though, bro. I appreciate you. What's up, Tiff? You love the way Jalen walked off the field? Yeah. Not losers no more, for sure. For sure. What's up, Little G? Appreciate you. What's up, Alex? Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you for asking. For those who was with me yesterday, my allergies was kicking my ass. My niece gave me some good advice. They are very heavy into, doing cleanses and allergies and all of that type of stuff. And she told me, she said, she sent me a picture with, she had a thing of bee pollen. And I had heard before that, like if you get honey from a farmer's market or something like that, honey is real good for helping deal with allergies. But she said bee pollen, and I was going to order some bee pollen. So I said, hold on. So I checked. I got a farmer's market not even 10 minutes away from me. So I called there this morning, and they did have bee pollen, natural bee pollen. So I drove down there and got me a 16-ounce bottle of bee pollen. So I took some of that today, put some of it in my, put about a tablespoon of it in my tea, added some lemon, added some honey, and drank that. And then I guess it was around 5, 6 o'clock ish today. It was like I finally fought my sinuses and stuff started feeling better. So I never really felt bad. Didn't have a bad headache. I got a headache because I was sneezing so much. But as far as like feeling bad, I was okay. But around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight is when I felt like I was kind of back to normal. So I will be drinking bee pollen for the rest of the week, every day until that bottle is gone, and then I'm gonna go get some more. So that's what's up. So I appreciate you asking about it. What's up, Rock Mikey? Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. BJ coming back. Yeah, perfect passer rating. You already know. We're gonna talk about the running. We've been kind of on that the last couple times. And it ain't Saquon. Let me just say it like that. It ain't Saquon. Spurgeon Holloman 85, 8135. Good grief. Spurgeon Holloman 8135. What's up? What up, dude? I appreciate you, bro. Chime in. Are you in the birds? Where you at, Dave Money? Be specific. Tell me where you at. What's up, Q? Appreciate you, bro. Carlos, come on, dude. Come on, Carlos. Don't you? You know, I know you ain't surprised. You know how it work, man. You saw my thumbnail. They be flippity flopping it, man. Flip flopping. I heard Colin Cowherd today. I heard the one dude, what's his name? Chris, you sent me the clip on Twitter. What's the dude's name? He's usually, everybody's kind of choosing the path on how they want to do it. Craig Carton. So you're right, man. It's a lot of backhanded compliments, man. It's a lot of shade. What Ryan Davis says, like, it ain't a compliment when somebody's like, they put the word little in front of it. Hey, I see you had a good little passing game, huh? So, you know how it is, man. Yes, Quentin, they do sell bee pollen, bro. Go to any Amish market, go to any farmer's market, and you can, if they sell honey, they probably sell bee pollen too. So, I have just become a fan of bee pollen, and I will be using it going forward. I already bought a natural honey because I use that when I cook, put it in, like in my barbecue sauce or like a marinade or a glaze for my ribs, something like that. Um, so yeah, yeah, and I will be. I'll tell you what, man. I started buying lemons from the farmers market rather than going to like Sam's or Shoprite or whatever grocery store. Dave Money instead of going to Kroger. Um, and when you buy the lemons from the farmers market, they're a little bit smaller, but like the taste is better. Like I don't know why specifically with lemons, like that difference was so tangible. You know what I'm saying? The lemons tasted better. They weren't sweet. They were still sour lemons, but it was just, it's hard to explain. It was just different. And it made me think like this is what this stuff is supposed to taste like. So whenever I can, I'll take my little trip down the road and support the people down there. Little family business. And I'd rather give them my money because I know it's coming out of the ground. You know what I'm saying? So um, oh, I'm down in South Jersey, down in the Williamstown, Sicklerville area. We got a nice farmers market down here, nice Amish market. Absolutely. That's where I go get my pork belly. And because like we got on one side it's a nice, real nice Amish market, and on the other side, not too far down the way, there's a real nice butcher. And I didn't realize it's like a lot of people don't have butchers in their area, and I got one. So if I can want a brisket, if I want a big pork belly cut, all of that type of stuff, I can do it. I'm on my pork belly phase right now. So I'll be going to get another pork belly to cook it on Thursday. So don't get me started on barbecue. I won't shut up. I'm just letting y'all know now. So all right, let's go through these chats. Anthony Jet, the barbarian, what up? Appreciate you, bro. Let me see. Why can't we see Jalen do this more often? I'm not saying every game, but you don't want that. But like every every 3 games apiece, even if you might be forced to, is the running game doesn't start. Listen, let's just go ahead and get into this, man. And Alfredo, you are not wrong, but you got to understand how it works. The problem is our offensive line. That's the problem. The problem is our offensive line. So it's not Jalen is not it's not Kevin Patullo. Yes, he has issues with the you know with the play calling and stuff like that, but for the most part, he's been okay. Because if you gonna give Jalen the news or the credit for a marvelous game against Minnesota, some of that has to go to Kevin Patullo. So I don't know. Hey, what happened? Did I lose some people? I was at like 22 people in the stream, and all of a sudden it went down to two. What just happened? If you're still in the chat, hit a thumbs up in the chat. I don't know what just happened. It's just like my viewership just dropped. Did I blink out or something? Let me know if something happened. The internet been going wacky all day. So I don't know what the deal is. Alex say he watching film right now. Yeah. All right. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know why my numbers just dipped. Maybe it's something goofy going on with YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, dude, I totally missed Schoolboy. Schoolboy had a super chat. Hold on, we got to get the super chat in. Josh Allen versus Hurts, first 4 years as a starter, Jalen clears. Yeah. Yeah, man. Ain't it funny when Josh Allen won the games throwing like 150 yards and then rushing for damn near 100 yards? He was gutsy and did what he had to do. And when Jalen Hurts does the same thing, it's like, he's got to figure out a way to throw the ball better. Ain't it funny how that works? So, and let me say this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring y'all into the Twitter feed on this one because I want to make a point. I want to make a point on this one. Let's let this be the last time. Thank you for that super chat again, schoolboy. Let's let this be the last time people compare Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa and what happened when they was at Oklahoma. Let's let that be the last time that shit happens. You know what I mean? Was that Oklahoma or Alabama? Alabama. Because everybody wants to bring that up as part of Jalen's story. You know what I mean? He got benched in college. The Tua took over for him, and they kind of made that transition into his pro. Like it was part of. I mean, I understand that it's part of what has happened, but at least from my perspective, they used to always try to put Tua in front of him, and it was like, come on, dog. You like, nah, dude. This dude has gotten us to the ultimate prize. That is a point, period, end of paragraph, full stop. That's what you do. That's why you draft a quarterback in the first round, because you are trying to do what Jalen Hurts has already done. Not only has he been to the Super Bowl twice, he's won it. And you got all of these picks. You got all of these people with all of this talent. You got all of this mess, all of this rhetoric that people just hold on to. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. What's up, KSAP? They do not want to give it up. And they hold on to the appearance of what a quarterback should be. And I simply ask the question. You go back and you can go back through go back through to go look through the past drafts and look at them QBs and what they do. The ones that were first pick in the draft and top 10 picks. And you look at those top 10 picks, how many of them have, what are their playoff records? How many of them have actually been to a Super Bowl? So I take it with a grain of salt now because Jalen Hurts has gotten so much flack about what he can't do, his problems throwing the ball, stuff like that. And it's like that will always be his low-hanging fruit. And I've said this before, like this is one of the hurdles. This is one of the hurdles that Jalen has to go through because unfortunately, nobody is really going to take him seriously until he starts having 300 and 400 yards passing in the game. And I believe, more importantly, he's got to be above 4,000 yards passing in the season before people will look at him and try to take that seriously. So I don't know why it's I don't know why it's like that. But I mean, I do know why it's like that. Come on. Let's keep it a buck. But people are slow to give credit and give him his props. Okay. You know what? I didn't stream this on X. I got the links on X. The reason why I stopped doing that on X, sometimes I will still do it just to get the audience. But what I found out was the reason why I don't do it on X all of the time is because X will skew the numbers for YouTube. So I stopped doing it. Because with StreamYard, with the software that I'm using now, I can go on X, I can go on Facebook, I can go on YouTube, all that. I can simul stream at the same time. The problem is I would always get more people watching on X than on YouTube. And I'm trying to bring the majority of people to YouTube. So I'm trying to build up the YouTube audience. By having it on X, it doesn't really help me because normally if you're doing it on X, most likely you're on mobile. So I'm trying to get people to flip and download the mobile app, the YouTube app, and watch me on YouTube because that counts for my analytics and things of that nature. So, oh man, they just showed Baker Mayfield. He had that glass-eyed look, getting his head kicked in. So yeah, that's why I stopped doing. I still do on X sometimes. Sometimes when me and Tone do our show, both of us we go YouTube and X, and the numbers will be like through the roof. But Tone's audience is bigger than mine, and sometimes I'll look. I might have like 30 people on YouTube, and I might have 45 people on X. And my numbers, what I see, it adds everything up. But so long story short, I'm trying to funnel everything through YouTube, not X, not TikTok. I will be going live on TikTok. I'm trying to figure out how to I got to set up my OBS so I can multi-stream on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. So appreciate that other super chat, schoolboy. Good looking out. Are you in Coleraine? Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. I have friends out there in Coleraine for sure. Had family out there in Coleraine for a minute. What's up, Lansky Beats? Jalen had to have a perfect pass game, and the offense still only scored 21 points. Yeah, the OCs Wentz play like ass, and their offense still outscores ours. Yeah, but we got the bonus from the defense. That counts. That counts. It bees like that sometimes. But at the end of the day, if Jalen doesn't throw the way he threw the ball, we lose that game. So he did what he needed to do. And what I want to add is the throws that he made. And this is you guys have been hearing me talking about this for the last couple streams. The throws that he made. Stop all of this talk about we not on the same page. That type of stuff. Those are the same throws that he missed against the Giants. The deep ball for A.J. Brown. This time he hit his mark. The deep ball to Devontae Smith. This time he hit his mark. No penalties. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the comeback ball to get that first down. A.J. Brown catches the ball, feet inbounds, doesn't bobble. We take advantage of that opportunity. Devontae Smith, how many targets and catches did he have? 9 catches for 80 something yards, 83. We took advantage of the opportunities. We get the pick. Who was that? Was that Jalen's Hunt? They got the pick 6. We got our hands on the ball. And the defense took it. Jalen Carter caused that play. You don't have to make the play to make the play. Jalen Carter gets in there, hurries Carson Wentz. And this is the thing with Jalen Carter. Here's the thing with Jalen Carter on that play specifically, and nobody's mentioned it, and I got to give him credit on that specific play. Jalen Carter hits Carson Wentz and does a textbook technique tackle. He didn't hit him high. He didn't put hands in the face. He put his helmet on one side of his hip and drove the man back. So it wasn't an outlandish hit. It didn't look worse than it was. There was no not even close to getting called for unnecessary roughness or any craziness like that. It was a textbook hit. It was a pressure. It forced Carson Wentz to get rid of the ball quicker than he wanted to. That caused the mistake that led to 6 points for the defense. That's what you want to happen. Jalen Carter caused an opportunity. We took advantage of that opportunity and worked it out. We took it to the ultimate end. That's what you want to do. Take advantage of the opportunities. The last two games, for whatever reason, we could not take advantage of opportunities. We couldn't do it. If Jackson Dart throws a pick his first series in the game, that changes his whole outlook. That changes his whole outlook. But we drop it. 2 plays later, he scores. That's the way it goes. You got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them. And we did against Minnesota. We did. So Carson Wentz kept making his mistakes, kept making costly errors, all of that type of stuff. And you know what? You get what you get. He made the errors and we didn't. We did. Jalen Hurts has another phenomenal game where he's only got like 4 or 5 incomplete passes. Jalen Hurts only threw 4 incomplete passes. 4. So that's what we need. I never did buy into that mess about, maybe he has to throw a pick every now and then. Nah, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that nonsense. You keep protecting the ball. I got to go. I got to finish looking at the tape because I want to see our offensive line. We still got issues. Now, in the second half, when Brett Toth was at center, he did okay. But I'm looking at it specifically as it applies to our run game, and it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. Mailata missing some blocks. Whoever is at left guard, I think Dickerson played a little bit, but he's not up to snuff yet. He's not even close to 100% yet, and it shows. So when you're talking about your whole left side of your line is not doing what they need to do, that's a problem. And Saquon is back there spinning like he damn Barry Sanders just to get a 2-yard gain, or at the very least, get back to the line of scrimmage. And it shouldn't be like that. So we are not doing a good job at the line of attack. We are not. They cannot be happy in film sessions looking at this crap we putting on the field in the trenches, because that's where it's going to be won or lost. They gave Jalen some good pockets in that second half, and it made a difference. And Jalen was seeing some things, and they set some things up the way he should. And hopefully we're going to see more and more of that. So you got to get you got to get work together, quarterback, offensive coordinator, in what you want to do, and you got to pull from each other. Kevin Patullo should feel comfortable calling whatever play he wants to call, but understand that Jalen Hurts should have the autonomy to go up there, see what he sees, and say, I'm changing this. I got a better idea. We need to go more tempo a little bit more, but we don't want to wear everybody out. But I think we're getting better in that regard and finding that happy medium. The last piece of the puzzle that we need is the run game. So hopefully we can get through these next couple of weeks, get to the bye week, and hopefully we can get healed up a little bit more. I would have rather not played Landon Dickerson, but it's hard to even say that, because if we don't play Landon Dickerson, do we win that game? I think the offensive line play is that important as of late. So we did what we had to do. We got the dub, and we just got to build upon that. But the most important thing, and I keep saying it, we cannot run the ball with our offensive line blocking the way they're blocking. We cannot. We have got to get better with that, period. We have got to get better with that. I think the game's over. Yep. So, but Oh yeah, I was talking about Brian Flores was right. Brian Flores was right. So, um, but yeah, we gotta be better at what we doing, and it got better, but you got to be more and more consistent. I saw something. Shout out to Lord Brunson. I saw one of his tweets talking about Jalen Hurts being an MVP candidate, and I was like, hold your horses because we need to be. I need to see about 3 more weeks of that. That's what I need to see. I need to see 3 more weeks of what Jalen Hurts just did. Then we can start talking about possibly MVP. Because at this point, it's up in the air. Honestly, and I hate to even say it like this, but everybody's going to be looking at that because they were looking at Baker Mayfield. He just got his head kicked in by the Detroit Lions. So if everybody gets back to what they're doing, if the Eagles can get back to what we know how to do in the trenches, I think we'll be fine. But we got to get there, man. We got to get some people healthy. I think we'll be okay with our CB2 situation. I think that's going to work itself out. Adoree Jackson was looking halfway decent. He's not coming back. We might have to deal with Keely Ringo, and I'm getting to the point where, like it or not, he's going to have to play. So the challenge is up to Vic Fangio doing whatever he got to do to get this kid ready. Maybe Ja'Cory Bennett will be ready after the break, but whatever. If this kid is going to have to play, it is incumbent upon Vic Fangio to make sure he is ready to play. So it is what it is, and we got to deal with it. Uh, who's third? Yeah, I saw that today. Rip it, don't flip it. I like that. I saw that today. Somebody else was talking about the most deep ball touchdowns with the fourth least interception. So, um, like Jalen Hurts is playing good ball, but like I said, everybody wants it to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to look a certain way. So, um, he's not going to have 3 more weeks of a perfect game. I don't expect that to happen again, but the way, it's possible. It's possible. At least we can have that conversation because he's had a couple of games where he throws a minimal amount of incompletions. We would be having a totally different conversation about that Giants game if he would have completed that one pass to AJ Brown. That made all the difference in the world. That one pass to AJ Brown because that was a guaranteed touchdown, and he just missed. But he didn't miss yesterday. That was kind of the same route. He didn't miss yesterday. He didn't miss on that dagger again. That was the same play from the Super Bowl. He didn't miss on that. And the other day with Denver and with New York, for some reason he just had a little bit too much on the ball or not enough, or that the aim wasn't quite right. Those little idiosyncrasies that every quarterback goes through, except it's just on display when it comes to us because it's Jalen Hurts and it's Philly, and everybody want to hate on Philly. Everybody want to hate on Philly. Did y'all see the amount of content that was coming out of Minnesota's camp talking about that Hawkinson would be touchdown? We watching the same tape. I saw the ball hit the ground and then he lost the handle on it when he tried to cradle it as the force hits the ground. It was an incomplete pass. And then everybody complaining about the catch from Travis Kelsey that should have been an incomplete pass. And they're trying to how can this be a completion and that not be a completion? And I was like, that's easy. They got Travis Kelsey wrong and they got Hawkinson right. So, relax. I know, Minnesota fans, they mad at the loss. So I get it. But the call was correct. The call was correct. So, um, but we got to get a couple more games like this one from Jalen Hurts. Low incompletions. It would be nice to get 300 plus yards, but I, that don't bother me. As long as he 250 plus, if that, as long as he's spreading the ball around, AJ getting targets, because at the end of the day, you know AJ Brown is going to be open. You know he's going to be open. We just got to get the ball to him while he's open. That touchdown he threw to AJ, I believe it was the first touchdown. Man, he threw a window, and that ball was on time and on target. He threw a strike in between two DBs. He threw a strike. Great route by AJ, waiting for the ball, and just Jalen threaded the needle. Those are the type of throws we know he can make. He's proven he can make them. Now he just got to continue to do that on a consistent basis. And I think he's going to get more of that until the run game can get it together, because we still pulling. It's like pulling on that lawnmower for the run game to start. It's coughing and it's choking and it's spitting it, but it ain't that engine ain't running yet. So, but like I said, that's the center guard tackle, specifically on that left side. We got to get better at what we're doing. Maybe change the blocking schemes. Whatever we got to do, we got to do something a little bit different, because I don't want to waste Saquon. I don't want to waste this year with Saquon. We got another opportunity to do something that is very, very difficult to do, and I want to do it. I want to get to the show, get to the playoffs, and take it all the way to the house again. Because once you get to the playoffs, depending on how good we've been, we might only have to play 3 games. So we need to get it done. This is where you start solidifying what kind of team you have. Now, I don't want to get on a hot streak. Let's just continue to be hot. Let's continue to play good football. Let's continue to be dominant. I saw the game. That was a dominant win by the Detroit Lions tonight. Dominant win. We got to figure out a way to get to that level. Are the Detroit Lions a dominant alpha team right now? They looked a lot better than they did before, and they're getting there. But I still don't believe that any team is head and shoulders above anybody else at this particular moment. I just don't. Everybody can get got. Everybody. So, let me see. Trying to go through these chats. Yeah, Jalen, he launched that ball, man. He launched it. He launched it. Oh yeah, Smitty always been like that though, man. Smitty is the personality that you want. He gonna be down with whatever. You got to have a yin and a yang. 2 quiet receivers don't work. You got to have somebody that's loud. You got to have somebody that's quiet on both sides of the ball. Even back when C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Slay was here, you had somebody like Slay, you had somebody like BG that was talk, and then to balance it out, you had somebody like Zach Bond, you had somebody like Hassan Reddick that didn't really say much. They just got out there and did their thing. It was a balance. Offense, you got AJ Brown, you got somebody who's not afraid to talk smack to you, and then you got somebody like Jalen Hurts that don't say nothing. You got that balance. That's what you need. That's what you need. You don't deal with people, you deal with personality. What you have? What you have on your parlay, Alex? You needed that Tampa Bay loss. Detroit ain't scary, but Detroit has been playing well the last 2 weeks. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you. They are not scary at all. So I'm with you. Although, damn, Jahmyr Gibbs looks scary tonight. Woo! That boy had Running back nirvana. Running back nirvana is when you break through the hole and you score and you are not touched. That's running back nirvana. He got through that hole with the quickness, and I don't think anybody touched him. And he was off to the races. That's what that was the perfect play, and he made the most of it. Um, Smitty was doing that when AJ wasn't here. Yes, he was, but the difference is it helps when you got somebody to draw the attention, right? That makes you got to make a decision. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You got to make a decision. Pick your poison. You're going to get burned one way or the other. So I'm going to let you figure out how to do it. Just like your grandmama used to say, I'm going to let you go outside and pick the switch. So while you're not wrong, Tiff, it helps when you got somebody opposite you that can generate that type of attention because somebody has got to give up. Somebody got to give up the ghost. You can't. You gotta figure out who you gonna game plan. You gonna game plan AJ or you gonna game play the Slim Reaper. You gonna lose one way or the other. You gonna lose one way or the other. In the Super Bowl last year, Kansas City gambled on stacking the box to stop Saquon, but you left Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the islands on the outside. They gambled and they lost. They gambled and they lost. Coach Marcus, would you rather Howie get two edge rushers like Jermaine Johnson and Bradley Chubb? Um, it depends on what it costs. It depends on what it costs. Draft picks, players, what are they looking for? Everybody's not making trades for nothing. Every other team don't want Keely Ringo. You know what I'm saying? We say that in jest because we want to get rid of the bad element, but who want to take Keely Ringo right now? Maybe somebody will. Most likely somebody won't. So when we talk about trade requests, I'm the type of person, let's look at it realistically. To get those players, what will we be willing to give up? That's the scary part. What are you willing to give up? So would you be willing to give up a Zach Bond? Would you be willing to give up it's not going to happen, but you don't know what these teams ask for. It's crazy what some of the stuff that they ask for and some of the stuff that some of these teams, Eagles included, are willing to do to make something happen. So trades sound good, but what's the price? Count the cost. Because sometimes the math ain't mathing. How good would Jalen be if Steichen stayed the whole time? A hell of a lot better passer than he is right now. For the simple fact that if Steichen stayed, that means he would have had the same offensive coordinator for what, 5 years in a row? So I'll look at it from that standpoint. I'll look at it from that standpoint. If we had an offensive coordinator that could just stay 3-4 years, that would be phenomenal. Maybe we'll get that with Kevin Patullo. I don't know. Does Kevin Patullo want to be a head coach? I don't know. That's the problem with being good. You get cherry picked. Yeah, that catch. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That diving one-handed catch, toe touch in the back of the end zone against the Jags last year should be in the highlight Hall of Fame. I agree. Private McClunky, Miami needs to clean house. They're going to need all the picks they can get. Yes, they do. That dude's going to be, McDaniel's going to get fired. They're gonna have a fire sale down there. That's what they're gonna do. I don't think. I don't necessarily agree with that, Tiff. I just think here's the thing: you want somebody to be accomplished. You want somebody to be competent. Um, but the reality of it is, you can't do those things unless you take your lumps and you get the opportunity to try. And shout out to Nick Sirianni for giving Kevin Patullo the opportunity to try, because they didn't have to do that. Howie Roseman didn't have to do that. They could have went out and found somebody. Um, Maybe they could have hired Cliff Kingsbury from Washington. I don't know. Amongst other people, I don't know. But we'll see. We got 158.3 passer rating. So Kevin Patullo is partly responsible for that. So we got to give him props for that. That's just where it goes. Tua for Tanner McKee. Oh my God. I wouldn't even want that headache. No, thank you. No, thank you, Tiff. Oh my God, that's funny. Tua for Tanner McKee. The irony would be horrible. The irony would be unbelievable. But it's not complicated with what we have to do. Execution is the key. And Sunday against Minnesota, we executed better than they did. And that's why we came out with that dub. That's it. I don't think we need McDaniels either. I don't want that headache in the locker room. Because he coming from being the head coach and everything that comes with that. Um uh, no thanks. No thanks. I don't want the you got a guy trying to struggle through his experience to become better. So it's not like Kevin Patullo is just he's just accepting of it. I'm quite positive that he wants to get better too. And you got to remember that. I wish Kellen would have stayed in Philly, but you know, he wanted to be a head coach. That's the thing with these coordinators. If they good, somebody gonna cherry pick you. If they take you to the Super Bowl, they definitely getting cherry picked. So what it comes down to is, do you want to hire somebody that doesn't have aspirations to be a coach, a head coach? Because you got to want to do that, because you can't. A lot of head coaches don't coach a position anymore, even though they used to be an offensive coordinator or a pass coordinator or whatever capacity they held before. A lot of people, it doesn't manifest itself as a full time head coach. Some people are only good at coordinating. Some people are only good at doing one thing. Uh, Being the head coach, you gotta juggle many hats. So shout out to Nick Sirianni for being the CEO head coach and being successful at it. Schoolboy says, I don't think anybody wants our coordinators. They just like effing with us, effing up what we got going. Yeah, no one likes us. We don't care, right? Ain't that the song go? Um, no, it's not that simple, man. They watch a lot of film together. Um, and you watch the guys that you coach under. If you a pass game coordinator, that means you've been under Sirianni and every other offensive coordinator that came through there. You're gonna pick up some nuggets along the way, for sure. you gonna pick up some nuggets along the way. So um, that's just part of it, man. So Kevin Patullo taking his lumps right now. That's the way it's supposed to go. You thought he was just gonna go out there and be a savant? Who who do we consider a savant at offensive coordinator? Is McDaniel supposed to be a savant? Is he at that level? John Gruden used to be. Andy Reid is now. But who you gonna stick out there that's got that level of acumen? Is what's your boy in LA? Is he considered a savant and can just pull the offense out of his behind? I don't know. But we need somebody that can stick around for a while. That's for sure. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. All right. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. You know me. This is a conversation, not a monologue. The link will be dropped in 3, 2, 1. I'm about to put an animation for that. Like an animation to drop the link. I'm about to figure something out. That'd be cool. Yeah, you had 5 years of it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We had some good days and bad days. We had good days and bad days. Don't get it. It wasn't all good and it wasn't all bad. And we won the Super Bowl. We've been to 2 Super Bowls. So something must have been working. So for all of them naysayers that talk about it's Sirianni's offense, and for everybody that talks about that, we are here. We won the Super Bowl with that offense. Yes, Kellen Moore has stuff to do with it, but that was Nick Sirianni's offense. So it was good enough then. How come it's not good enough now? So, it is what it is. As long as we keep balling and getting the stuff done that we got to get done, we'll be fine. Sean McVay, yep. He's one of them ones. He's definitely one of them ones. But guess what? He was watching the championship game at home in Cancun. What's up, Chris?
What's going on with it, Coach?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. All hyped up for this BG announcement. I kind of called it
Ha.
the other day, so I ain't gonna gloat too much. But I thought he was gonna do it today, but it still remains to be seen when he's gonna come back. I think he's gonna come back after the bye week, but it'll either be tomorrow or Wednesday where he has the announcement. So
Okay. Well, I was gonna conversate with you a little bit. Then I was gonna ask you a question at the end. So
sure,
I'm gonna say that.
what you
But
got?
well, first things first. I mean, shit, we won, man. That little losing streak. That's not what we do these days, Coach. That was too long. Like,
That's all right.
you
It
know what I'm
happens.
saying? It happens, yeah. But for us, man, we've been used to winning so much. You know what I'm saying? That little streak. And how long it had been since we last played, that 10-day layoff don't feel as good when you lose. So it feels
Nope.
like it's a while. But it's obviously good to be back in the win column. I mean, I thought yesterday was we talked about it last week. I know you had said it and I had agreed with you, is that I felt like it was a situation where I think just for the morale of the team, we needed to win. And the quarterback delivered. You know what I'm saying? I think that was
Yeah.
the biggest takeaway. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really look at it so much from a statistical, like he threw for this, because you're not gonna have perfect passer ratings every week. It's not
No,
possible. You know what I'm saying?
he hit on the throws that he missed in New York.
Exactly. He hit on them throws, and considering, you know what I'm saying, was going up against a really good defense yesterday, especially in the pass game. Flores is, I
You know
think, prior
what?
to yesterday.
Todd Bowles and Brian Flores. We won both those games.
Both. You know what I'm
We
saying?
won both
Some of
those
them,
games.
and Flores is really unique with his pressures and his blitz package, especially on them third and longs. Like that's what he specializes in. And we,
Man,
you know
I
what I'm
gotta give
saying?
Flores credit.
Mm-hmm.
Flores and the Bengals are the only ones that came up with a decent plan to stop the tush push. Cincinnati did stop it.
It did.
Cincinnati did stop it, but that alignment that Brian Flores had, I thought that was genius.
Yeah, I
I
thought
thought
it
that was
was.
genius. And the guys that were in the 5 technique over like in the guard tackle gap, and they just kind of jumped at the angle so Jalen couldn't slide to the left or to the right. I was like,
Yeah,
that's perfect, because every time we wanted to push, I'm talking about go left. It's right there if you go left. But what that does do is that sets them up. If Jalen takes that ball, takes a step back, and goes to the outside, he's untouched.
yeah.
So we have
There's
some more.
a. I'm pretty sure it'll be a wrinkle. You know what I'm saying? They watch the tape, so I'm pretty sure they got a wrinkle. But
Right.
I thought, like I said, just continuing yesterday, I thought obviously the big lead was just the quarterback, Jalen. You know what I'm saying? I heard this take and I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought, given the circumstance that we was in yesterday, that might be the best performance of his career. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Super Bowl's higher stake, but just his individual
Yeah,
performance, like
I won't disagree
it's
with that.
it's up there. You know what I'm saying? You probably got to go back because he had some really good ones with Shane. But given the circumstance, that was probably one of his best performances. I think defensively, we were solid. I think the need for an edge rusher is imperative. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I think that's part of the reason why I don't think we close teams out the way we could, is because that edge rusher, that Hassan Reddick type pass rusher is not there. And I think when teams get in those must pass situations, you saw even Carson yesterday, he was as shaky as he was in the first half. Like down the stretch, he was able to run around and make plays and run, you know what I'm saying, because he had so much time back there. So I think that edge rusher is imperative. Like if there's anything, hopefully if BG got enough in the tank, that'll help. But if there's a move that can be made that's reasonable, I think that would be something to help for
I
sure.
would guess that BG's role is gonna be he gonna be a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna come in there starting. He gonna play a couple plays.
No.
He's gonna be giving folks a blow, and that's a good change up for him.
Oh yeah.
So, and I think that strategically, that's a lot better for us because you giving Jalen Hunt, whoever's playing on the edge on that particular side, you got to deal with our starters. Then you got to deal with Jahad Campbell running around. Now you got to deal with Brandon Graham coming back. So everybody's going to be on their P's and Q's.
Yeah,
but I think he'll be on the pitch count to start.
Will. Yeah, and I don't know when Nolan Smith practice window's supposed to open up, but I know him and Jacorian had a similar timeline for their comeback, or at least to have a window open up. So we'll see.
I heard
happens.
Jacorian Bennett's supposed to be in this week, but I haven't heard anything about
Nolan. Yeah,
about Nolan Smith.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all in all, but like I said, man, I thought yesterday, forget the numbers. I just thought for the morale of the team, they needed that win. And the way they did it, they just needed a win. You know what I'm saying? The way things was going, and some of the idiocy we was hearing last week that you touched on, like, all the crazy things in the media. And like I said, that video I sent you earlier, now all of a sudden we got Craig Carton up there talking about, well, they should trust him more. And when you put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Like, dude.
Yeah.
And like we didn't know that already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you flip-flopping, bro.
Flip-flopping, like, you know what I'm saying? And prior weeks it was, stuff like, well, he may not be the best quarterback, or he don't process the game fast enough. I'm like, you can say he need to play better, but you ain't got to make everything about his whole career.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if he didn't say anything, he would have got bashed for that. Well, you ain't got nothing to say now? But like, so it's one of those tit for tat things that go back and forth with it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not going to please everybody. So the people that want to get mad, they be mad by themselves.
Yeah, there's that. But so there's that. But I had a couple questions, but the question I was going to ask you, the first one off the rip, why don't we, and it's not going to be that every week, obviously, but why don't we, when you see that, and I think that's some of the frustration is like, even though the run game it got issues, that's the offensive line, but when you see that, particularly passing, and the weapons and mind you, Dallas was quiet yesterday. Dallas has been leading the league, I think, for tight ends. I think he's first in TDs this year right now. So I'm like, when you see that type of aerial assault, like, why don't we see something similar to that more often? Like, what you think is the reason?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Like I said, it's not going to be 340 and 100 passing rate. It's never going to be that. That's impossible. But better,
I guess to me,
Mm-hmm.
To me, I go back to the same, like looking at film, I go back to the same things. It's not an if, it's a why. Why can't we throw the ball? Why can't we get the ball out quick? Why can't we spread the ball around? Why can't we throw the ball across the middle? And you can get into scheme, you can get into Patulo sucks, you can get into all of that with valid reasons. With valid reasons. However, for me, in my opinion, the biggest contributor to our struggles is the offensive line. We have no offensive line, or they're not blocking like we did last year. So the run game sucks. And if the run game sucks, that affects your play action. So you're not going to bring the linebackers up. So you're going to have less space because nobody's moving and you're not fooling anybody.
But yesterday the run game wasn't good neither though, and we did what we did in the air.
Yeah, but in the second half they blocked relatively well. They blocked at the line of scrimmage to give Jalen Hurts some time in the pocket.
Gotcha.
I'll take that.
Gotcha. Because that was, I mean, that's for me. Like I said, that's what I was preaching. Like for the, you know what I'm saying, for the crowd of people that when, like I said, we talked about it a million times, but when they were saying guys were complaining about the receiving, whatever, yesterday's performance is exactly what, for me, what I was referencing. Like, yo, when these, if it's Asia, whoever it is, when they getting mad or y'all think they upset, because when you see yesterday's performance, you looking like, well, goddamn, and that was a really good defense on the road.
Right.
And you like, well, if we can do that to them, then what, you know, what's all this other, you know, what's some.
Think we lost him.
You back, Coach?
Yeah, I got you. You dipped out for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nah. That was one of the questions. I'm like, when you see that, I'm just wondering why, like, what be the reason we can't get that? And you said, like you said, the offensive line play. I'm like, man, well, I'm telling you, I just wish we could get that more often. And it's not even knocking anybody specifically. It's not. I'm just saying I wish we could. And then the last thing I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
You got it. Oh no, I was just watching the Detroit game. You were just talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, I don't know if this goes back to the creativity topic, but man, obviously their run blocking is way better right now, which is the most important thing. But
absolutely,
when you look at the different ways they get Jahmyr the ball, like,
yeah,
we don't do that with Saquon. I'm talking about like out the backfield. Like I saw,
no, they don't.
He had like 83 receiving yards today, and he still went for 140, 150 rushing or whatever he did. Whatever he got.
He had that one play where he went 73.
Yeah, or even last night. Last night there was McCaffrey and Bijan played against each. You know what I'm saying? You see the way these other running backs are, even when they're not running the ball, they're still weapons. I don't know why.
The NFL is a copycat league, man. I don't understand why we don't copy.
Man,
I don't know.
That's that.
But again, also, I'm not going to discount the fact that you're talking about a rookie play caller. You're talking about a neophyte as your offensive coordinator. You got to give him time. He got to take his lumps. Period. Everybody ain't gonna come out and be a genius. Just like at the draft, you get that prospect. They got the size, height, weight, strength. They got everything, but maybe they don't manifest until year 3, 4, 5. Just like look at BG. He didn't come around until his fifth year?
I think so. Fifth, sixth.
You know, that's just the way it happens sometimes, and we ain't no different.
Oof. That's my only thing with him, because I know you're right about that, and I agree with you. I'm just like, man, to be in that spot for this type of roster that's a tough ass, man. Because like, you don't get Super Bowl championship level teams every year. It's just hard to do that. And when you get one, it's like you want to max out at every position, including the coaches, especially when most of the talent is offensive, like it is on our team. Like, be taking them lumps, then that's tough. But hopefully he just keeps learning and keep getting better. And
yeah, he will. He'll get comfortable, and the playbook will open up. We just I think Philadelphia fandom want too much too fast.
You think so?
And you want, I mean, you got to be a little bit realistic with the situation. Is you just, because Jalen Hurts didn't come out throwing for 300 yards every game, like what did you expect? We talking about the low hanging fruit of predictability and all of those criticisms that they thrown at Kevin Patullo. But at the end of the day, he was winning. It was
He
ugly,
was.
but he was winning. And some of those situations was on Jalen, and some of those situations was on our offensive line.
Yeah, facts. No question.
So I think
No
he was. It's not like for lack of trying.
Nah, not that.
You spend all them hours in film session, you coming out with something. But
Yeah.
you know, but
And
I
like you
mean,
said,
it happens. It
yeah,
happens.
nah. I agree with you. I think a lot of it, especially when you watch the All-22, a lot of offensive line missing blocks, and at times, you know what I'm saying, some stuff with Jalen and whatnot, that did play a factor. But I'm
Yeah,
just like, man, I listen, I don't listen to the national media. Really, you the only Eagle person I listen to on a consistent basis. But I'm like, objectively, I'm like, when you look at the weapons and you see yesterday, it's not gonna be that, but the lows just be too low sometimes, man. The lows
yeah.
be crazy. That's
That's
my
that's
only
the way
thing.
it go. You should have, if you was watching the game, you saw Baker Mayfield's low. You saw that
Yeah,
he had them glass eyes on the sideline. He was
yeah, he was hot.
couldn't
He
figure
was
out what
hot.
he's supposed to do.
He was hot. He was hot. So,
Yep.
but I'm hoping that well, we'll see. Next week I think it'll tell us a lot, man. How do we can we
Absolutely. Because
put two in
everybody's
a
gonna
row
be looking to
together?
see Jalen. Can you do it again?
Yeah. Well, to
Can you
be
do it
fair to
again?
him, I don't expect him to have another perfect passer rating. I don't expect
Nah,
that. But
but
yeah,
but
they waiting.
I
They waiting.
I would expect him to go above 250.
Yeah, unless we finally get a Saquon game. You know what I'm saying? Unless we get that
Yeah,
by some chance. But yeah, if not
it's
that, then
possible.
yeah, it's possible.
It's
But
possible.
unless we get that, then we'll see what they come up with next week, and we can get back to back. You know what I'm saying? Good
Yep.
performances, and then hopefully we can start putting this thing together before the bye week, and then come back on the bye week in stride. So,
Yeah, that bye
but
week couldn't come quick enough, man. We got some injuries that we got to heal up and
yeah.
get ready for the second half. We got to be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and our bye week this year is like smack dab in the middle of the schedule. So it's not
Right.
too early. It's not, I guess, too late if you want to call it that. But it's right in the middle. So when we come back from the bye, hopefully they'll be healthy enough and they'll make enough adjustments to where they come back ready, because they got, I think, Green Bay and Detroit right after the bye. So, but we'll see. But yeah, that
Yes,
was
sir.
my little piece. That was my little piece for the night, Coach. Glad they got the
All right.
win, and see how they can put back-to-back performances together next week.
Yep.
All right, Coach. Appreciate
Get
you
it
always,
done.
man. Go
You
Birds.
got it, man. Go Birds.
Yeah.
The Chiefs and Patriots dominated AFC because they had minimal coaching turnover, so they only need to tweak small things here and there. Yes, the Eagles are literally defying the odds. I agree 100%. I agree 100%, but that's the situation we're in. Um, that happened with San Francisco a couple years ago. That's how um, D'Amico Ryans ended up with Houston. So not uncommon. Not uncommon. Imagine if Hurts does back-to-back perfect passing game. That'll be incredible. That'll be a topic of every conversation, and they would definitely change some minds. But so we'll see. Um, we have to see how. Well, for nothing else, we have to see how this works, because you think anybody else can come in and it will start clicking. Um, I'm assuming you're referring to BG. Um, I guess that's a yes to the question. If you're looking for somebody else to come in and feel comfortable with the locker room, and everybody and the locker room is comfortable with him, then yes, you need to find somebody that dipped their toe in locally and ready to come back. So, with the way nutrition and all that kind of stuff is, they can do it. They can do it. I just saw an article before I got on. He was talking about the workouts and stuff he was doing, keeping himself in shape. So it sounds like he's been doing everything he can behind the scenes to get himself ready, to get his mind ready, to jump in and play some play. He's not going to play a lot. He's probably going to be on a pitch count, but that's still better than maybe a few other people that are starting. So it is what it is. But luckily, he's on our side. How about that? Oh, I got you. I get that big old soliloquy, and you was responsive to a private comment. Oh my gosh! But we got some momentum, and let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's not let anybody down, and just we now that we've seen it, we know we can do it. So it's like do it again. So, but that's why you play the game, man. I bring back Frank Reich or Dougie. Everybody keeps saying that. I saw Doug put his little application in the ethos. So, um, yeah, it's that's a mixed bag. They're not gonna hire somebody that they don't think is right for the job. You got to prove that you don't belong. You got to prove it. Kobe. I thought the Kobe Dean played great last week. What do you think of? What are you thinking of the Kobe and Jihad situation with BG coming back? I think Jihad will still be at edge because I think that was just a look to not. You got that type of talent, you might as well use it. Let me say it like that. You got the talent, you might as well use it. So we'll see what they do next week. I don't think. What did I see? Oh, I had to be talking about Tampa Bay because they were talking about crabs and stuff like that, and the crabs being um, when you're in what was I going to say down in Tampa Bay, you just got to be ready for whatever's going to come your way. You saw Todd Bowles and the look on his face tonight, and he thought he was ready. He thought he had a good team, but it don't always work that way. Doesn't always work that way. Kobe Dean was good though. I did text him, say good game. He responded. So more from him. Shore up that run game. Jalen Carter looked good. Jordan Davis looked good. Jalen Hunt, obviously. Defense continue doing defensive things. They're proving that you can win with this defense. It's the offense that's got to get going. It's the couple pulls on the lawnmower. The way they the way it goes, you gotta put it in gear and you gotta step on the gas and go. Give Jalen Hurts the keys and let him do what he does best. He's got enough repertoire with AJ and Devontae that they got a lot of unspoken stuff going on. So, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I went at 10 o'clock. I think I'm gonna stick with the 10 o'clock hour just so I can be that half hour a little bit earlier, so I don't be, going to sleep dead tired and all that kind of stuff. But I like it. FYI, I just started. I did my first video on Profan Hoops today, so make sure you go on over to Profan Hoops, subscribe, and check out my basketball content. Just did a video today on the state of women's basketball and the upcoming layoffs or work stoppage or however you want to say it. So some pretty interesting stuff. So check out Profan Hoops. We're gonna keep it going. Let's get this ready to go. Let's get this ready to go. Let's go. Let's go on a streak now. Go on a streak now. I'm expecting the same type of performance as we just saw. At least something similar to know. So you can say, I don't have a problem with Jalen throwing this, running this, whatever. You already know he's going to take the job. So we'll be all right. We will be all right. So, but I am going to get up out of here. Me and Tone will go off tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I believe. Check the socials tomorrow morning. We'll be on top of it. So make sure you if you are on a mobile device, make sure you slide to the left on that menu in the middle and select hype. Make sure you hype up this video. So I appreciate everybody joining in. I appreciate everybody in the chat keeping it real, coming through, showing your boys some love. So appreciate y'all. Let's get through this week. Let's get through Brandon Graham's announcement. You already know what's coming. So we're gonna get ready for this crazy news cycle we about to go into. So it is what it is, but I'm gonna get up out of here as usual. Go Birds.